Tag Show. With Jenna. And Blue. Damn. Now, here's your host, Jenna and Blue Magic.
Yeah.
No, we're not doing this.
Why are we not going to do it? Whoa, what's up? What's wrong? You're listening and watching the Mixed Tag Show with
Jenna and Blue. We're not doing this whole.
your.
sound like you like to
I'm from. I'm sorry.
That sound like that you like to make.
It's not that I like to make. It's. Let me break it down to you. When you're in New York, it's just it's a thing that you have to do. No, your goes unanswered. Your.
Can we start the show, please?
Oh, look at that! Someone wants to start the show and not fool around for once. It's our 20th episode. Now you want to get to business?
Happy 20th.
Happy 20th, sir. How are you?
I just don't want to start no happy 20th with no year.
Well, it did. It's been recorded, and we're not starting over. So, ha ha.
That's
Ha
fine.
ha ha ha. Did you get the other sounds that I asked you to get?
No,
Nope.
I forgot.
Of course you didn't. What's new?
What is new? What is life?
I don't know, buddy. Anything happened to you this week? Talk to
Oh,
me.
you didn't
Talk
say
to your friend.
how were you? You said what is new?
What's new? How's life? Talk to me. How's the weather? How's the
It's
weather
been
in
raining.
Jersey?
It's raining all week.
Yeah,
for
all
us. So
Same.
it's not much to do there. It's been pretty chill. I've been watching G1 Climax for the most part.
I know you were trying to watch it or whatever, and
I was watching it.
I was watching it with you, kinda.
Right.
I was just eating.
Right.
So.
But yeah, I'm watching that. Some great matches. Some interesting matches happening right now.
So we definitely got it. We're talking about that next week, though, not this week.
No, it's a month-long tournament. We don't have to talk about it.
I mean, we have to.
You can mention it like I just did now, but
the people don't necessarily always care about WWE. They wanna
oh,
hear about,
who's saying that?
no, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying they also like other promotions. Don't you got to give people a little bit what they
Right,
want?
but
Give the people what they want.
yeah, but we'll do that when it's close to like the final four.
Okay.
It's a lot. It's 19 days worth of a tournament with blocks and points and.
I told you after Thursdays, I have to recharge from wrestling. Like I literally don't watch any TV because it's just too much.
Now I'm good with the New Japan. It's interesting. So
Yeah, we're both wearing women's shirts.
yes, it's a very interesting
pro
episode.
woman.
Yes, just wanted to make sure we didn't have the same shirt on.
He thought I was gonna wear a Sasha shirt.
So I went with Lana. Happy Lana Day. Thank you,
And
WWE shop.
Happy Lana Day. But I am wearing Trish Stratus Nerds shirt.
I have brought up a backup just in case you
Just
did
in
decide
case.
you did wear it.
Well, you don't have the shirt, so.
Yeah,
But
you have this shirt though, so
I do.
That's what I was saying. Like
I'm
I bought a
a-
backup just in case you decided to wear.
You know what? I tend to not like to wear the shirts that they send us if we haven't done a skit yet. I don't know.
It's weird to you.
It is a little weird to me, but whatever. Thank you, WWE Shop, for always keeping us fly.
Yep.
If you want to help us out, again, our link is provided on YouTube in our description box and on our social media.
Yeah, you can hit us up at the Mixed Tag Show and
Yes.
click on the link
Or at Miss Jenna Baby, BAYBEE, or.
at Blue Magic Grind.
And again, you're helping us out. You know, it's no trick or anything like that. It's the same thing. You just click our specialized little link, right?
Right.
We got to get some coins because in our last skit, you got us kicked out by our friend over here, Matt.
So we gotta pay a fine.
Exactly. Matt is charging us, so we need to pay our bill, right?
It's your fault. You started this.
I didn't start it. You clearly mess up all the time. Anyway, you want to get into the show? Before we actually get into the show,
Yep.
you know, recapping the whole bit, draft time.
I thought we was gonna, shout out the winners.
You want to shout out the winners? Shout out the winners.
You shout out the winners. You have the names? No?
I don't have the names on me
I
currently.
don't have the names on me currently either. Shout out to the winners that won the t-shirts of the Roman Reigns giveaway and a gift card that is coming your way.
Yes.
We're unprepared, so we don't know
Ashley
your
got
names.
the gift card,
Ashley got the
and
gift card.
Courtney got the Roman Reigns
Right,
shirt.
Courtney. See, there we go.
I always have to keep us afloat.
Anyway,
right?
can we start the show? Like, talk about Raw,
Like,
SmackDown.
For real?
And,
Europe? Okay, so.
stop with the Europe.
Come on, you hater. Anyway, we want to get into the draft before we start the show.
We don't have to talk about the draft.
This week on our wrestling fantasy draft, we're almost coming down to the finale.
Yeah, so.
The finale, and I'm creeping in. The past couple of weeks, I've been, like, itching up. Like, my points have been greater.
I don't know. I gotta check these points, man.
Listen. You're
check,
more than
man.
welcome to tally the points. I'm tired of coming home from work, having to write the notes and do the draft points while you sit there and do absolutely nothing.
Now you know how I feel when I do all the editing for the videos.
I give you moral support. At least I
give you more support too. I'm like, hey,
not really.
This person just won on NXT.
My man
here's the points
texts
for
me.
this.
He texts me 7 years later, and I have to send him multiple texts like, "What the f?"
Please, you disappeared a few times.
When I'm actually doing something.
So can we start the show about Raw, SmackDown?
So Blue Magic Club, those of you that know, Blue's faction stable is called Blue Magic Club. You got the sound for it?
It played.
There we go. He had a total of 93 points this week. Better than the 1 point that you had last week. Yeah. The Queen's Court, which is my stable, has scored a total of 263 points. Thank you, sir. So, in total, Queen's Court has 2,450 points to Blue Magic Club's 2,880 points. I am inching up. What?
I mean, SummerSlam is like in 3 weeks, so.
I mean, listen, it's a late push. Who knows? We'll see. At least I can save face, right? You were killing it, like, for the majority of the whole thing.
Got a good start. That's all I'm glad about.
You did. Just for everyone, again, SummerSlam is almost here. So after SummerSlam, me and Blue are done with the draft. That's it. It'll be open up to you guys for the next season. So definitely, are we going to start this week or next week?
Yeah, sure. If you want to be part of the draft, hit us up in our DMs at the Mixed Tag Show.
Yep. We'll definitely put a post about it.
And there's only 6 slots open, so.
6 slots. So if you're the first 6, essentially, I'm assuming.
Yeah, first 6.
First 6. And, yeah, at the end of that season, you'll get a good gift from us. We're going to put our money together, a little bit of coins.
Yeah. That's why we need y'all to buy from the WWE shop at our links in our bios, please. Thanks. I appreciate it. And we
that was nice of you for you to say please.
Yeah. That'd be nice.
Yeah, sometimes you are nice. Sometimes.
Want to kick off about your show?
Yeah, we'll kick off my show. My show was pretty good this week. I didn't think it was a bad show. No.
It was decent.
Decent show. Obviously, as everyone know, a big announcement occurred, but we're not going to get into that because we'll discuss it later on in the show, correct?
Yep, we'll save that for towards the end.
So, we have Sasha Banks, the never-ending saga of Sasha Banks and Bayley.
Yeah, what is it called again? What's the team called?
Boston Hug Connection?
Boston Hug Connection.
Wow. Someone who's a big Sasha Banks fan doesn't know her.
I was throwing you an alley-oop so you could input. That was the thank you. And then you try to throw me underneath the bus. Thanks.
So right before their match, Sasha and Bayley had a little interview, and looks like they rekindled, like squashed any beef that they had.
Yep, they're best of friends again.
They're best of friends again, which makes sense, right? You go through little squabbles with your friend. Sometimes you need to just really talk it out without a third party. You just talk it out, right?
And then you hug it out in their case.
And you hug it out. Like my picture, by the way?
Yeah, it looks nice.
Right?
Yeah, they had the, chalk line.
The matching chalk line jackets,
Yeah.
yeah. Anyway, but after that, they had a tag team match, surprisingly, with some jobbers.
Yeah.
Right? It's the first time I've ever seen that with them, but it was a very
nice, clean win,
dominating match. It was kind of like a swagger to them, right? That they're on the same page.
Yeah, it's a nice little setup.
Yeah. Did you notice, though, like, my heart was, like, kind of, like, pouncing? Racing, yes. Because there was, like, this, like,
hesitant moment.
Exactly. It was a pause. Sasha gave this, like, little look, like, side-eye, like she was getting ready to attack. But it didn't happen.
It was a hug.
It was a hug. So what do you think? What are your thoughts? How do you book this going forward into next week and the following week?
No, it's definitely going to be it's a nice setup. It gets Bayley's guard down. And
Get
Sasha's gonna
She's gonna
pounce next week.
She's gonna pounce.
Give it
next week.
Yeah, next week. Gives it a nice 3 weeks of, leading up to SummerSlam.
Right. Or other people have been saying that possibly because the whole tag team titles are being rumored. Maybe they're good now for that. No, Sasha's gonna pounce.
Yeah, pounce because Stephanie already killed those rumors. She said not yet.
She did.
Yeah, she said
I missed that.
Yeah, she said not yet.
When did she say that?
They was asking her about the Women's Evolution pay-per-view. Actually, was she gonna wrestle and about the tag team titles? And when she said not. She said not yet. We're still inching our way.
So we're getting Sasha and Bayley.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, no, I agree. And it's just getting her guard down when she least expected. Hell, when we least expect it, right? Because we're just expecting for it to happen.
Yeah, she's gonna drag it out a little bit. Now they're buddy on social media again and
posting each other's pictures,
and liking and all that good stuff. So
hearts and what have you. So,
but you know who I do feel for?
Who do you feel for?
My boy Kevin Owens, man.
But there's a silver lining.
There is a silver lining this week.
I like the stipulation.
Now that he gets his match against Braun Strowman at SummerSlam, and if he wins, money in the bank.
You know why I like the stipulation? Because it goes back to what we discussed back for Money in the Bank. Right. Braun Strowman doesn't need the briefcase.
Nope.
Right? Kevin Owens is perfect for that. Right? Heels are the ones that typically get briefcases. It just makes their character that much better. And
or the underdog.
The underdog, right? And then
CM Punk when he first won it.
It just in general we saw Carmella, who else? Seth Rollins, people that are heels just typically do better with the briefcase. The Miz, the list goes.
It just goes.
Brock Lesnar.
I said Dolph Ziggler.
I was about to say, what? What are you talking about, buddy?
I said Dolph Ziggler.
Exactly. So I like the stipulation. I'm hoping he does actually win.
I feel like he's gonna win.
You think he's gonna win? And he needs it because he's been like a punk basically the past couple of weeks. Ever since he's got drafted to Raw.
Right.
And the funny thing is, remember we had this conversation about him and his impact on SmackDown. I thought it was just very stagnant. It was just like you expected this. It hasn't been a good move for him to Raw.
Yeah, it's just been bullied the entire time by Braun Strowman. Everybody's cheering this. I'm like, wait, I thought we was trying to be a star here. What is happening?
So I just feel that, at least if I'm booking this, I would have Braun continue dominate Kevin, and when you least expect it at SummerSlam, somehow, some way, he picks up the win.
I can see. The best way to do it? If he just angers Braun and Braun goes too far and gets disqualified.
I mean, yeah, right? Because he doesn't know how to control his temper and anger. And Braun doesn't need it.
He doesn't.
Braun, you don't need it, man. You too big. You too big.
It doesn't look right you trying to cash in on somebody.
Could you imagine him running out
right.
It's just too awkward. It's too awkward.
They didn't think this all the way through.
You know what's awkward?
Go ahead.
You just wiping your brow, the sweat off your forehead.
Go ahead.
Roman Reigns and Bobby Lashley. So when we thought, Bobby Lashley, we didn't actually think that.
A knight in shining armor. No, we was kind of skeptical. We was like, wait, we need that other shoe to drop. What's happening here? Why did Bobby win?
I didn't question why Bobby won. I don't know what I didn't know what I thought. I don't know. I don't know what I thought, honestly. But Bobby obviously won at Extreme Rules. I guess to save face, make him still look strong.
All right.
Just to have the big dog, Roman Reigns, defeat Bobby cleanly at that.
Make him look stronger.
Makes him look even stronger. And we're having Roman Reigns versus Brock Lesnar part what?
50.
50?
I think it's 50.
You think it's 50?
It's like 50. I don't know. I lost track of
So what's your take on it? How would you change this? What would you do?
First of all, whenever stuff like this happens, I automatically think back to CM Punk's make Roman Reigns look strong. I don't know why. That line is stuck in my head. And it's just like, really? We're doing this again? We couldn't get a double count out or something to make this a triple threat a little bit interesting.
To play devil's advocate, though, would would he have made that match exciting against Brock?
Yeah, in my opinion, he's a legit threat because, first of all, Bobby Lashley comes from MMA as well. And he has a better record than Brock Lesnar. And he hasn't had a match with Brock Lesnar in how long? Okay. And if I'm not mistaken, did he not win the last time them two went against each other?
I don't remember.
I can't remember. But either way, I feel like this will be you need to get the title off of Brock. This is the person that takes it off Brock.
But my thing is, he has no personality.
Even if he's just a transitional champion.
You know what? Yeah, but it doesn't look legitimate. I don't know. And I'm not agreeing. Agreeing Roman should have been the one to go, go forward. I didn't necessarily like either or to actually go against Brock. But I just feel like Roman is, at this point, a no-name. You hate him or love him, he's a no-name. People are going to tune in, whether smarks and regular fans think they're not going to tune in or not going to pay attention. People are going to tune in.
The only reason why I'm going to stay for the match is because of what I predict is going to happen.
And talk about it, because you were definitely telling me you had an idea.
I feel like Owens is going to win the briefcase and cash in on Roman. Like, that's the way I look at it.
Either or, I think, because it can't go the same way as Mania and then the Greatest Royal Rumble. It's not going to be a one-on-one. I think that either Kevin or Braun, whoever still has the briefcase, will cash in. He has to be. There's no way in Brooklyn. Can you imagine this match going on last and it's a standard singles match?
No, but again, that's what I said. If Owens win the briefcase early in the night, Reigns is gonna win, whatever the case may be, or Brock is gonna win, but Owens is gonna sneak in at the end of that match and steal the title.
I don't think that's a bad idea. Like I told you before when we had this whole Kevin Owens discussion many weeks ago, I thought he did fantastic as the Universal Champion, and the whole friendship festival thing. I think he killed it with Jericho. So I am not against KO winning and obtaining the Universal title, and we'll see it every week. Right? Finally.
As I said, if it was anybody that's gonna take the title off Brock, Bobby should have been the one. This is my opinion.
Well, we'll see. So, what did people think about? What did you think about Raw before we find out what the people thought?
I gave it a cool B.
I agree.
It wasn't it was a little bit of advancement. Even though the predictability kind of killed it at the end. Yeah. But it was decent. Yeah. I didn't lose interest most of the night.
I didn't lose interest. There's some developing storylines that I like with AOP and Titus O'Neil. I think they kind of missed something with that, but needless to say, it kept my interest. But I honestly it kept my interest, but I'm not gonna even lie. The whole women's Evolution pay-per-view thing
it kept the night.
It kept the night. So
I just want, this is not even on our notes, I just want Apollo Crews to turn on Titus already.
That'd be a good feud.
Not even a feud. No, just turn on him and go on. Titus is not.
But that's stupid. You turn on someone and then you move on. No, you have to have. There's a reason why you turned on that someone, and a feud would.
I just want to get him away from Titus. Just want to get him away from Titus.
I think it would be a good feud between the two. One, because Apollo needs a change desperately. He's had the same character since NXT. I mean, now he grew out his beard a little bit. He's a athletic, superstar, but he needs some type of character, and he's finding his way. But they just need that storyline for him. And I think, like you said, to turn on Titus, have a feud between him and Titus. I think they'll give them both.
It'd be dope if him and Dana Brooke teamed up and just turned.
Daniel Book? Who?
Brooke.
Book?
Brooke.
Book?
We're not doing this. Dana Brooke turned on Titus, and they just do their own heel thing.
Okay.
I would love that.
I want Dana to do her own thing, but we'll discuss that later with the Evolution pay-per-view. But I like the idea of Apollo turning on Titus, but I would have a match. Needless to say, I like the storylines that are low-key coming out of everything. What did the people think?
They gave it a B.
So the same thing?
Yeah.
All right.
But then whose turn I really like right now?
The Viper.
The Viper, Randy Orton.
Yes. So what did you think about that promo?
It was awesome. It was needed. I was like, yo, talk that talk, Randy. Talk that talk.
Talk that talk.
You needed that. He needed that.
He needed that desperately. I think the general consensus was that Randy was done, and it was just kind of riding him into the
Yeah, and he's
sunset
like,
type
nah, buddy.
thing. Nah, buddy, I still got a little bit more left in the tank.
And he's better as a heel. Like, come on.
He's good I think he's good as a face too. I liked his face turn back in 2011. He was like facing, I think it was like Edge and Christian and
He turned on rated RKO.
No, it was a little after that. This is around when Edge retired, and then they had Christian win the world heavyweight championship. I guess kind of like a consolation prize for his buddy type thing.
Yeah,
I didn't mind that face RKO.
I don't really remember that one, but
of course you don't. But yeah, no, he's better as a heel, and he's really good as a vicious heel. So this was, I felt it. I still don't really care for the reason.
No, it does. You know why? It plays to his old persona on Twitter as well, because he's got into a few of them with the Young Bucks and whatsoever.
That's not what I'm saying. I don't understand necessarily why it's targeted to Jeff Hardy.
Because he's a high flyer and he's in the Indies. He just came back from the Indies and he's a high flyer.
He didn't start in the Indies.
Yeah, he did.
Well,
but he went back to the Indies and then came back.
So it was not.
He's a diver. That's why he made like dive and all that stuff.
Okay, makes sense.
So
are you continuing this feud? Like, how do you book Randy Orton?
He's an artist on that, huh? I let him keep attacking different people, like the Daniel Bryans and
the indie guys.
Yeah, the indie guys. Until somebody comes in and like, all right, that's enough.
Yeah.
Maybe it's Jeff. Maybe it's Shinsuke. No, not Shinsuke. He got to stay heel.
Yeah.
But AJ. Yeah. Lead it up to AJ. AJ came from out there. This is the lead up for AJ.
So good. We haven't seen a feud between Randy or AJ, right? That'd be a good feud.
Yep.
And I say what you want. A lot of people criticize Randy. I think he's a pretty good wrestler.
He is a pretty good wrestler. He just got boring.
Yeah, his character got boring. But I think he's still very fluid.
Yeah,
in the ring.
He's flawless in the ring.
Yeah, like he's
second generation. He's got it in his blood.
He's very smooth. Second generation?
Mm-hmm. Second or third?
He's third.
Third?
Yeah. Always gotta correct you.
Anyway.
But you know we don't have to correct?
Who?
Andrade Cien Almas. You have to do it to the camera, man.
Nah, it's tranquilo. I'm good.
Tranquilo.
That's what I said.
Anyway, so we had, again, we had a earlier segment in the day. Zelina Vega and Lana kind of went at it.
Right.
Basically hyping up this match. And we had Andrade versus Rusev.
Very good match.
It's a very good match.
I wish they didn't put no commercial break in between that.
I know that kind of kills it.
Kills it.
I mean, I know they try to do the whole screen. It's bothered me. I'm sorry.
Okay.
They do the whole screen, double screen thing or whatever, but it was a really good match. So Brawl, this is what I've been calling for weeks, right? For Zelina to get involved some way, somehow.
Right.
And this was perfect. This was a perfect booking for those two. She got involved, right? Her and Lana tussled.
Right.
Then you had
English come out
and mess it up. And Andrade
pick up the win.
Rusev
could have sold that a little bit better, but
What?
I said Rusev could have sold that a little bit better. But
yeah, well, what did you think? Do you?
I like it.
I'm confused though. Like I liked it too, obviously, but I'm confused. Is the feud gonna be Andrade versus Rusev, or is it Rusev versus Aiden? Are we gonna?
It's gonna be. I feel like it's gonna be Rusev versus Aiden. I would wish it to be against Cien and Zelina, and a mixed tag match.
I was just gonna say a lot of us were saying that this would be a great idea to do a mixed tag match. Lana's getting, her feet wet when it comes to wrestling. We've seen Zelina a couple of times.
Yeah, she's done her own in the Indies as well. So
and on TNA and what have you, or Impact Wrestling, whatever you want to call it.
I lost track.
Whatever. So, I mean, I would love to see that. I don't want to see a feud between Aiden and Rusev. And this is what you had said a few weeks ago, right? That Vince didn't care for
the whole
Rusev Day and that
trio.
Yeah. And it looks like the full face turn is here.
Yeah, I hope so. But if he turns his on Aiden, does Aiden becomes the heel?
Nah, I think Aiden will be the heel at this point.
He'll be the heel. That's what I meant. So he'll be the heel. As long as Rusev stay face and Lana stays face, because Lana done dropped the accent.
Did she?
She dropped the accent. She spoke in regular voice.
I think in the segment she had an accent, though.
No.
She didn't.
She had a regular voice. Everybody talked about it like, oh, she done fully dropped it now.
She just fully dropped it. Okay. Okay.
We here. Total Divas messed up everything.
That's it. So, but yeah, I like it. But where do we go with Andrade? I read a report that they were so impressed with that match between AJ that a push is coming. So where does that leave them, Andrade and Zelina?
Give them one more feud.
With?
And then Shinsuke not doing that right now.
But he's a heel. It's two heels.
It's happened before.
Yeah,
ego. Let the ego come at it. Yo, it happens.
I'm not saying it happened. It doesn't happen. But when you're trying to get a new talent over on the main roster, they're not gonna have two heels versus each other.
It happens. I say let it happen. Chaos versus LI.
Is that WWE?
I don't care. We don't care.
That's not WWE, so that defeats
that
Chaos point is invalid.
LI. I don't care. Let it happen. That's what I would do. You asked me what I would do. That's what I would do.
Okay, well, if that's what you would do, but they wouldn't do that. So let's get that.
But that's the point. Is what I would do, right? How would I book the segment? I would have CN go towards Shinsuke now because Shinsuke doesn't have anything to do either, and there's not many faces that's very high up there on SmackDown right now.
I wouldn't do it.
So who would you have CN go against and Shinsuke go against? There's no more faces really. Daniel Bryan is busy.
I can't think of anybody right now. You know what? Why don't we finally book?
What's Bobby? Bobby's on Raw, right?
Yes. Ty versus Andrade. How about that? Fine. Let's book Ty.
That's gonna end up on the pre-show. I'm trying to avoid him from the pre-show.
But why? But they were already on the pre-show. Like you have. But how do you book new stars? You can't have the same people fighting each other. That's the whole point. Ty Dillinger was a star in NXT. As soon as he got to the main roster, nothing happened.
He wasn't a star in NXT. He was over in NXT, but he wasn't a star.
What do you consider being? He wasn't a star. If he was over, he was a star.
I think between being over and being a star to me is two different things.
And what?
In my opinion, being a star is like having a persona and carrying the match, and that 10 thing is cool. It gets you over, but it's not a star gimmick. That's just it. I love Ty Dillinger. I do 10. I got his shirt, whatever. But to be a star, like you can see that person as a future heavyweight champion. I don't see that for Ty.
Okay, but in the meantime, it goes back down to what I was saying. Like I've said numerous of times, back in the day, like I thought it was a great match to see Andrade versus AJ.
Right.
But back in the day, when you build your superstars, it was the lower card, the mid card, then you got to the top guys.
Right. Yeah. But
this is a perfect thing that he's new to the roster. Ty hasn't done anything in a million years. Who knows how this will benefit Ty Dillinger? Why not? If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But it's you start it out, right? Let them hone in their skills in the main roster, and then you continue to move forward with bigger talents.
Yeah, I just don't want to see them on the pre-show. I'm trying to avoid pre-show stuff. I would love.
Well, you're gonna start at the end of
Ty has to be repackaged, unfortunately, because Vince didn't like the 10 thing, and
you don't want to see them on the main on the pre-show, the kickoff, but it happens. Especially when they first start out, it happens. The whole point is for you to hone in your skills and be so good that, you know what, we're going to put you on the pay-per-view. That's the whole point.
CN is there already.
Andrade was on the kickoff show.
I know, but what I'm saying is his star power is there already.
But not yet.
In my opinion.
I agree too, but maybe not to Vince just yet.
Yeah.
I agree 1,000% that him and Zelina are there, but it's going to take time. So what do you do?
That's why I put him on the mid card with Shinsuke, who has the U.S. title. Let them handle that.
I don't like the idea of two heels going at it, but let's agree to disagree.
There we go.
My show would be better than yours.
Anyway, you guys let us know what you think. Do you think that he should be facing Ty Dillinger, or should he be facing Shinsuke Nakamura and create a program there? Let us know.
But again, because you like to leave details out.
Go ahead. Say word it how you want to word it.
Should two heels be going at it, or should we be booking and creating new stars? We would be doing that if we had Andrade versus Ty, or your way would be Andrade, two heels, Andrade versus Shinsuke.
But who are you building up in that?
Both of them.
CN versus Ty.
Both of them. Why? The whole point is to build both of them. If I was booking the show,
right.
We need new superstars. We have the same people, the same feuds, more or less. He's been on the main roster for 2,000 years.
It's only been a year.
2,001 years.
It's been 1 year.
And the man has a new shirt. Like, what's the whole point of getting a new shirt?
I thought he was going to go heel, and I was waiting for that, and they never pulled the trigger on it, but...
Yeah. You know who they pulled the trigger on?
Finally. Yes.
Joe.
Finally.
Joe.
I'm very torn in this instance.
I want Joe to win.
I know you do. I'm torn.
I love AJ. Bullet Club. Too sweet. Right? But
I'm torn.
It's time.
I'm torn.
It's time. It is time
He's
to...
only had the title for what? Like, how long you had the title since, like, November?
I smack fire at your mouth right now.
No, but like,
son.
Again, like, people keep talking about like passing around the title, like.
Okay, but that was November. It's July, my guy. It is July. No,
was it November? Yeah, because he took it.
When was Survivor Series?
Yeah, when he took it off him and faced Brock.
It's July. Matter of fact, it's late July. Like next week is August. It is time. It is time. Like I said last week, worst case scenario, if someone can't carry it, then you can give it back to him. It is time.
I guess.
It is time. Joe has been legitimate. He's been a badass.
Oh yeah, no, I don't argue that.
He's been killing it against Roman, against what's this guy's name? Brock.
Even though they kept making him catch L's, but you know.
But he's been killing it nonetheless. He's a threat. He's good on the mic. I would love to see him what he does with it.
If it was anyone outside of Shinsuke, I'm glad it's going to be Joe. I'll say that. Other than that, not yet.
But you're okay with Andrade versus AJ? Oh.
Yeah, it was. I enjoyed that match.
So would you have been okay if they decided to push him for the title?
Right now?
Yeah.
No, not yet.
Okay.
This is the build-up.
Just making sure. I just wanted to see.
Yeah. Wait.
What?
Okay. Go ahead.
The heck was that?
I noticed that we didn't put something up here, and I kind of...
Go ahead, talk about it. What are you going to talk about?
The whole Daniel Bryan and Miz thing. I didn't want to talk about it too much.
Okay, well, it was the last match or last segment.
Yeah, so I was cool. I'm like, just go ahead.
Well, if you want to talk about it, we can talk about it. But before we talk about it...
Go ahead.
Wait, Carmella and Becky happened before that.
You're right.
This is something that you wanted to interject for this?
No, you said go ahead and talk about it. So I was like, but before that, I'm like,
well, hold it in real quick.
Fine.
Carmella versus Becky. What do you think? I'm super excited for Becky.
That's if they let Becky go over.
As long as they let Becky go over.
Like, I'm all for it, but it's not gonna make no sense if, first of all, do you really believe that Ellsworth is just like fired?
I'm so trendy. It's just the coordination. God. Anyway, do
you believe that Ellsworth
I don't know, but I hope he's out of the picture.
He started a hashtag.
What did he? He's not fired. I'm glad he's out of the picture. Like I think I said last week, it was I marked out just slightly. I don't even say marked out, but I was just happy that Carmella won because I wasn't ready for her reign to be over. But I'm excited for Becky. Becky's been deserving of this since she got the title the first time and had to drop it to Alexa Bliss. So
I feel the heat on that one.
The fire just
Now Alexa Bliss, I was like,
No, but I think Carmella's done a really.
Kamala's another
Carmella.
wrestler that's a guy that
Thank you.
drew a moon on his stomach.
Thank you very much. Carmella, I think she's done a fantastic job as a champion. I think a lot of people have given her some flack just because she may not be the strongest wrestler, but I think she plays her role well to a T. And
She does.
You can see the confidence. I had a conversation with my friend Astro. He said that he felt more. I feel like with this title reign, there's more of a character development. Like, You've seen it. He's like, no, because when she had that feud with, I think it was Natty and Nikki Bella, and I'm like, you didn't see personality there. She just didn't seem comfortable. Yeah, she had a feud, an actual feud.
She was part of it.
But no, she was not. She was mainly her feud with Nikki. Like they went at it.
Yeah, but even then it was like.
But the
focus wasn't
nothing,
really on her.
I didn't really see it for her and that character. Ever since she's been the champion, or not even since she's won the Money in the Bank briefcase, swag has been on a trillion. Her ring attire has been different. Like just she's dripping. She came through dripping basically.
I like her old attire better.
Came through dripping. I like this attire better.
It reminds me of Becky Lynch's attire.
Does it? So how are you booking this? Becky goes over her at SummerSlam. She ends her reign.
Yep. I say Becky goes over. Charlotte comes out to help her celebrate and then turn on her.
But I don't want to see Charlotte as a heel. I want to see Becky as heel.
Oh, yeah,
right? Because I just feel like the main focus will be on. I'm not. I want to see the feud between Charlotte and Becky. But
okay, I'll switch it up for you. For your vision, right?
Thank you.
I put Carmella over Becky. Becky gets mad. Charlotte gets her shot, and Becky causes Charlotte her shot.
I don't like it.
Or Charlotte wins. Becky comes out to celebrate, and then Becky turns on Charlotte.
I don't like it.
There's no pleasing you then. I
don't want to see Charlotte win the title. Not anytime soon.
Well, that's the way it's gonna work. That's the only way it's gonna work if you want Becky to be heel, because Becky has to be the jealous. Whoever's the heel has to be the jealous one of the two.
True.
So that's the only way it's gonna work.
Or Becky wins, and Charlotte comes out, celebrates with her. It'll be a slow burn. And basically, feel like Charlotte's trying to take like the spotlight, or like she was the main one to help Becky get to this point, and then Becky finally is just like, "What?" and then turns on her. Then we have heel Becky.
So basically, when heel Becky, you come from the fact that she thinks she's better than Charlotte.
That she knows she's better. She's tired of being in people's corner. She's the star. She's a four horsewoman too.
Yeah, she's always the left one.
Exactly. She's the one that's left out constantly. And it's time for her to make her mark and stand up.
She always plays second fiddle to Charlotte or Sasha. Same thing with Bayley, kind of,
but Bayley still has kind of that, you know what I mean? Like she's still in the forefront.
Becky's the only one that didn't win the NXT championship.
And then exactly. So yeah. That's her gripe. That's a good way to
I'm
start
tired of
again.
being second. There you go.
I'm tired of being second.
Or the third wheel.
What did you want to say about Miz and DB?
I mean, I thought it was a pretty good, solid segment. I thought it was hilarious when they tossed the baby. Yeah. It's like, yeah, really?
I knew there wasn't a baby there. Just the way.
Yeah, he was moving around.
The way he was moving around, and the way the baby was too close to him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And sheltered and covered up.
Exactly, because a lot of times with babies, you put the headphones over their ears from jump so it doesn't for the noise.
Right.
There was no headphones or anything, so like I knew there was no baby.
Yeah, that was hilarious though. And it was a perfect catch from Daniel Bryan.
Sure was.
So I'm excited, and I enjoyed Miz and Mrs. By the way,
that was really good.
They need, like you said, they need to be an hour.
It needs to be an hour. It was super good. It was super funny. What did you think of SmackDown?
You give it a B plus, maybe an A.
I won't say A.
It's not an A plus. It's an A.
B plus.
Yeah, the people said B plus.
B plus. It's not bad. It's great.
Yeah, it's great. You know what it is with SmackDown? It never lets me down.
That's
hardly.
A lie.
Hardly lets me down. How about that?
Recently, it hasn't let you down, but let's not.
Hardly. I said hardly.
Hardly. Then all of last year, that had to have let you down.
No, I was riding with SmackDown. You know what? Somebody made a point.
Ooh.
Somebody made a good point. Raw is like the general WWE fan base, right? Like your typical fan base for WWE.
And SmackDown's like for smarks.
No, SmackDown's for the mixture of both. Like the typical WWE fan, but also the people that watches the indies a bit. You know what I'm saying? Like that's where they meet up at the middle. I can see that.
I understand
And
that.
then NXT and 205 is just straight indie marks. Like
I understand that, but let's not act like SmackDown was the ish all last year. Actually, from WrestleMania of last year to up until the recent draft, it was not good. It was not good at all.
it started off good, but then it dragged.
It didn't even start off good. After the Miz and Cena thing actually ended, and there was just a couple of feuds that ended, it wasn't good. It wasn't good.
It was still better than Raw.
No, it wasn't.
Yeah, it was.
No, it wasn't. I'm not hating. I'm like I told you via text. It doesn't hurt to admit that one show was better than the other. I've admitted numerous times that SmackDown has been the better show since this whole draft has started.
Yeah, it got better. No, I'm not gonna say that the SmackDown was the best the entire way. It got stale towards the end before the draft.
Oh no, it was still way before that. But you're biased, so 205 Live, Drew Gulak is #1 contender for Cedric Alexander's Cruiserweight Championship.
Is he still doing the no-fly zone?
No.
What's his new thing?
You've been watching. You see, he very
I haven't watched
rarely.
in 2 weeks.
His gimmick has not changed from the past couple of months. He hasn't really done the whole.
Oh, he's just like the straight.
Yeah, it doesn't change.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm excited because he's on my team.
And you want him to win.
Over Cedric. NXT was super good.
Yeah, it was pretty decent.
We had spoilers last week, though.
Yeah, we got spoiled by it last week.
But it was still good.
Overall, we have a new NXT champion.
Yes.
Aleister Black has fallen to Tommaso Ciampa.
Tommaso Ciampa.
Because of Johnny Gargano.
See, I remember I told you we had to rewind it. We had to rewind it a couple of times because I'm like, wait, it was
an accident.
Yeah, it was an accident. But now this obviously sets up a triple threat match for a takeover, which I'm super, super excited for.
Yeah,
Aleister's getting called up.
Aleister's getting called up. Johnny Gargano's getting called up, in my opinion.
I don't think Johnny's getting called up just yet. I don't think the feud is over.
Johnny's gonna get called up. They want to cash it on him now. They trying to boost up 205.
I think not yet. Not yet. I have a feeling Aleister will definitely get called off.
Yeah, Aleister's next. He's out
Raw,
of here.
SmackDown.
Raw.
Why Raw?
SmackDown has enough talent already. Only thing they're missing is like prominent faces, I guess.
And Aleister's currently a face.
Right, but I feel like his character fits more for Raw.
But you think about it, Aleister has that whole devil thing going on, and I think about Finn Balor and the Demon King kind of thing.
I think Vince will probably look at it as a great marketing scheme and put them against each other and turn Finn
I wouldn't
heel.
put that.
Finn needs to go heel. That's my opinion.
I don't think Vince would do that. But I would like to see probably Aleister on SmackDown. I think he fits SmackDown.
Mm.
And like you said, there's not as many faces, right?
Right.
So I can see him maybe. But it just seems like when they get called up,
They get lost.
not that they get lost, which he probably will be because he was so pushed in NXT. It wasn't, Vince's idea, but I think that when they get called up, they switch. Right? We've seen a couple of times when someone gets called up, now they're no longer a face, they're a heel.
So you think that Aleister has a chance of being a heel?
Possibly, but it's not what I want to see. I think he's doing well as a face.
Yeah,
and he's needed as a face. But yeah. But I'm excited for a couple of matches that are gonna happen at TakeOver, so
yeah, TakeOver is gonna be stacked.
yes.
I feel like WWE is building this up just because they know that, and there's an extra hour, so it's gonna be 3 hours now. So
exactly.
It's gonna be very interesting to see. I feel like they're gonna have to start stacking these takeovers because we know what's coming up. WrestleMania weekend now, so they're like we gotta set the bar now.
You have to
set the bar now, leading up to that.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think making it an extra hour is gonna hurt WWE.
Why?
it's just gonna give them more of a chance to outshine the real pay-per-view that weekend.
But then again, it goes back to, it's like competition. This is when we had our debate a few weeks ago about WWE stepping it up, and then, like MSG and Ring of Honor and New Japan are coming at their throats. It's competition helps, you know.
Yeah, but not from your own brand. NXT has been overshadowing.
But it should. But that's the point. It's like if people, every pay-per-view says, "Yo, NXT Takeover," like can't stop raving about it. But then it comes to the actual pay-per-view, after every Sunday, it's the same thing. It's like something has to give. You have to be like, "Yo, this is not right." The main roster should be setting the example, not
prime example.
Takeover.
Me and my boys are talking. We're like, NXT.
Your undisputed.
Yeah, my
boys.
undisputed brothers. Talk undisputed. We're going to take over. SummerSlam, maybe. Like
I'm going to
maybe.
every show like the mark that I am.
Maybe. Monday Night Raw, yes. Tuesday, yes. Sunday, maybe. Like it's just like, especially with this whole Brock versus Roman again. It doesn't entice you to spend your money on it.
I'm not gonna even lie either. SummerSlam at this point is not really enticing to me. I'm kind of interested to see what they do with Ronda, but nothing until they say Sasha and Bayley are officially at SummerSlam versus each other. I'm not that excited.
The only thing I'm excited about is AJ versus Joe.
It's a good match, but it still doesn't mean like I'm super.
I want to see. I want to
SummerSlam.
see if they're gonna have the magic that they have in the past, and if WWE's gonna screw it up like they did with Shinsuke versus AJ.
Yeah.
That's my.
Well, those were the shows this week.
Yeah.
Right. So we're gonna get into hot topics.
Let's get throwback topic.
Ah, that's right. We said we're gonna go back to that old format, right?
Yeah.
And discuss different throwback topics, right? This
Yep.
past Sunday, it was the Heartbreak Kid's birthday, Shawn Michaels.
Yep.
And you said you had a debate or a conversation with your brethrens.
Yeah, me and my Undisputed brothers was talking about is Shawn Michaels.
Why can't I be included into the group chat? And I'm knowledgeable. You told me I'm knowledgeable. People know at this point I know what I'm talking about. Why can't I be a part of it?
Me and my brothers had a conversation where we was like, because I said,
wow, son.
I said,
wow. Go ahead, you said what? Come on, we have a show. Come on.
You don't just fooling around.
Yeah, shut up. Come on.
I said Shawn Michaels is the greatest of all time.
Okay. In what sense?
And like he's the greatest of all
Just like overall.
He's number one. He's
wrestler, mic skills,
he's
everything.
He's the greatest of all time.
Okay. And then what did your brother say?
And Nels was saying that he's one of the greatest of all time.
Who did he think was the greatest of all time?
He said that everybody has their own category, which I agree with. Like, certain people you say best person on the mic, who's the best wrestler, who's the best mainstream person, Hulk Hogan. You know what I'm saying? But to me, it was like outside of not doing movies, right? He didn't do movies, but everything else.
He did. There was that one movie he did not too long ago. But
I'm talking about back in his prime.
Okay.
The only person I feel that's good on the mic, the best on the mic, best in the ring, like best promo, commentary, you buy whatever he sells, is Shawn Michaels.
Well, I'm going to have to disagree in that sense because we recently posted this week the promo on Monday, the Lost My Smile promo.
Yeah. And
I was reading up on that. And I knew this for some time too. Shawn Michaels was never actually a big draw. So he was a top guy. And they put their eggs in one basket with Shawn, but he was never the top guy. At the time, Psycho Sid, he got more of a reaction than Shawn Michaels did. And there was a couple of times that there was controversy like with that promo that he essentially faked his injury because he didn't want to drop the title, what have you, right? All that said, you know what I mean? I'll tell you right now, Shawn Michaels was never my favorite either. So, like, it was just something about him that I didn't connect with.
Right.
But I'll tell you, that he is one of the greatest, probably the best in-ring performer. I'll agree 1,000%. Or maybe not 1,000, maybe 999%.
Okay.
But in regards to being the greatest of all time, so for me, I feel like the greatest of all time, you had to have everything working for you. And I'm not saying that he didn't have, but he was never an actual draw, right? Shawn Michaels was supposed to be the guy back, especially in 97. He left. Immediately, who came through? Stone Cold. And the rest is history, right? So I don't agree with that. I don't think Shawn Michaels is the greatest of all time.
Yeah, but
in-ring performer, okay. And my thing is too with I'm sorry to cut you on actually I wasn't even finished talking. You were trying to interject, so I'm not sorry. You're right. You okay? You need tissue? Look like your allergies
I'm
are
losing my
bothering.
smell.
Oh. Well, what's new? Anyway, we call him Mr. WrestleMania, and it's like when I think about it, I'm like, he had really good performances, but Undertaker had a undefeated streak for many years. Why don't we call Undertaker Mr. WrestleMania?
Because Shawn Michaels is the one that outperformed everybody on those WrestleManias.
Correct, but it was never. But it was never where Shawn Michaels was this really, really, really like big star that was like he was the face of the company, but he took the company to point A, point B, or what have you. You know what I mean? And that's why I question it. Like, he's Mr. WrestleMania, but it's not. There's something there. There's something missing with Shawn.
I don't think anything was missing.
Even with
Really?
even with DX, right? Like Triple H took DX to another level as the leader of DX. You know what I mean? I feel like there's something missing with Shawn. I'm not knocking him. Don't give me crazy looks. People don't come at me. But
Look,
it's
even
not
Matt
even,
is looking at you like, wait, what are you talking about?
but it's the truth. It's not even about what I'm talking about. This was in articles. I told you I read it. This is articles. This has been said. I'm not the only one that said it.
Okay, but here's the thing, right? First of all, during that time, being a big draw wasn't even that much. Because if that's the case, you can make the argument that Undertaker was in a big draw, Diesel was in a big draw. Who else was during that time?
But they were in position as the face of the company. They were never positioned as the face of the company.
Shawn was never positioned as the face of the
Yes,
company.
he was. They put matter of fact, I'll send you an article that they put their eggs in all in one basket in 1997 because they wanted him to be the face. And then he pulled all these different stunts. He was.
And again, during that time, nobody was drawing. That's why people defend Diesel being the champion, because it was like nobody was drawing during that time. And to your point about the reaction from the people, just because you wasn't getting a reaction from the people doesn't mean you wasn't putting in the work.
But I didn't say that. Those words didn't come out of my mouth.
But what I'm saying is, when you think of greatest of all time, it's about performance, mic work, your ability in the ring, right? And that's what I'm saying.
And your popularity.
And he tops all of those for me. You saying DX wasn't yes, Triple H took it to another level because he had, Outlaws and X-Pac and all that, and there's a different era. Literally, it was a different era because that's when Stone Cold came around. This is when Vince was like, all right, I'm letting go of everything. Y'all do whatever y'all want to do. And even then, Shawn and Triple H did what they wanted to do with DX. Those things with Sergeant Slaughter, hilarious. Those things against the Hart Foundation, hilarious. Like, you're saying
hilarious.
That you're making
I'm
it
not
sound
knocking
like,
it.
But you're making it seem like, when he was part of DX, it wasn't like the thing. It was.
But those words didn't come out my mouth. What I said to you was, DX was dope, but Triple H took DX to another level. Same way when you look at NWO, you had the outsiders with Scott Hall and Kevin Nash. Soon as Hulk Hogan got injected into now NWO, you knew who ran that faction. Same thing with the Nation of Domination, right? You had Farouk, he was the leader, right? But The Rock was so, you couldn't deny him that eventually he became the face and he became what he needed to become. Same thing with DX. Eventually, HBK got injured, whatever. Triple H took it to another level. Shawn didn't take DX to that level, and that goes back to what I'm saying in regards to him and his popularity. I'm not saying he wasn't popular. I'm not saying he's not a great wrestler, but he wasn't a main draw. And for you to say no one was a main draw, but you have your different stars in different eras that just connect. You see with Hulk Hogan, you see with Bruno Sammartino back in his day, right? He was a draw. Same thing with Stone Cold, another draw. The Rock, another draw. As much as we hate John Cena, another draw. There's just certain guys that just have it and or get the push and they run with it. Shawn Michaels didn't have that, and this is not something that I came up with. This is what happened.
I'm not disputing that he wasn't a major draw because again, those are during the times when he was doing whatever he was doing between drugs, acting out, whatever the case may be. He wasn't focused as he should have been to take it where he needed to take it to. And those stories came out. I'm not going to deny that. What I'm saying is, when it comes down to those categories, to me, he tops those categories outside of popularity. Even then, you ask anybody who doesn't watch wrestling, they know who Shawn Michaels is.
Do they?
Yes, they do.
I don't know about that.
We're going to test it. When we leave out the studio today, we'll be like, hey, do you know who Shawn Michaels is?
I bet you people know Stone Cold or The Rock more than...
Of course, yeah, I'm not arguing that, but
then that defeats what you're saying.
No, what I'm saying is when it comes to those categories, to me, he tops the list on most of those than anybody else, right or wrong.
In regards to
the best in-ring performer, best on the mic.
Stop it. You know damn well he's not the best on the mic. You know damn well he's not the best on the mic.
Not best on the mic. Okay, let me rephrase that. When you average it out, he's at least on top of those lists. He held his own to be on top of those lists.
I wouldn't say he's on top. He was very good on the mic, but the top? Nah, come on.
You wouldn't say he was top 5? On everything on the list, he's not top 5.
I have The Rock. I have Austin. I have Punk. Flair. Piper. No, he's not top 5.
In my opinion, he's the greatest. He's the greatest of all time. You can't deny that to me, in my opinion. Like, to me, he's everything that you need a person to be greatest of all time to have. He has everything. Those people you name, you could take one thing from them that they don't have. Shawn has it.
I mean, a lot can argue that Stone Cold had all of that. You can't say Stone Cold was. I'm not saying he was better than Shawn as an in-ring performer, but he was very good as a wrestler. Hell, his first name was the Ringmaster, just because he was that good in the ring
at that time. But then when he got injured in his prime, he wasn't that.
Okay, so but
Shawn was that in his prime,
but Austin
after.
But Austin still wasn't. So Austin still wasn't that bad, but he was great on the mic. He was a draw. His popularity is probably the most popular superstar we've ever seen in wrestling.
So you're saying Stone Cold is the greatest of all time?
I can probably say that. I'm biased because I'm going to choose my guy, The Rock, but I can probably say Austin.
I see. And my bias would be Triple H, but knowing that Triple H is not in that category of being the greatest of all time. I would say Shawn.
But one can argue.
You can't argue. You can argue anybody is the greatest of all time.
Not anybody. Because
the Mount Rushmores of
the double
Mount Rushmores. There's not enough space for all those
people.
Well,
who do they say who's on Mount Rushmore?
Depends what generation you're.
We have I mean the
majority
of
names
is Hogan, Rock, Austin, and Flair.
And then the last one be switched out between Taker, Shawn.
But those are the 4 that. And with that said, when you say that, Shawn Michaels is not on there. If you say there's another one, which I've never heard there's another one, Shawn Michaels is not on that 4.
On some people they are. What would be your Mount Rushmore?
Austin, Rock, Hogan. I can't think of the last one. I can't because I
It's
wouldn't even.
4
I
or
wouldn't
5?
even. It's 4. I wouldn't say Taker, because I don't think Taker was utilized really to his full capacity. I wouldn't say Triple H.
No.
The 4th one I gotta think about. I definitely have to think.
So who'd be
about
your top 5?
my top 5 wrestlers of all time?
Yeah.
Rock, Dwayne Johnson, Hollywood Rock, The Rock, Stone Cold, Eddie Guerrero somewhere on there. Even though he hasn't necessarily been one of my favorites, but Eddie Guerrero's definitely on there. I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, I see that. Would you like me to go?
Because you know what it is? Going back to like our first episode, all I knew was The Rock. Not that I didn't know about anybody else, but
that was your
I didn't see. I had tunnel vision. I didn't see anyone greater than him.
Right.
If I actually think about it, like my favorite is just The Rock. So I couldn't tell you, yeah, this person's in my top 5. I just had one favorite. But go ahead, you can go.
I'll say Flair. You have to put Hogan in there. I'll put Shawn Michaels in there, not Triple H. Shawn Michaels in there. I'll put Macho Man in there.
Macho Man's on there. I can put Macho Man on there for sure. I wouldn't put Hogan in mine.
Only because of what he did for wrestling. That's the only reason why he's up there. Not because of his matches.
Yeah.
Or none of that stuff. None
Yeah.
of his movies really captivated me. It's what he did for
Bruno
wrestling.
Sammartino,
He put wrestling on the map.
I can put Bruno Sammartino up there.
You
Now,
can't.
what he did for wrestling and his impact
Right.
and what have you, and the
So I'm
streaks
talking
he
about my
had.
era. Like that's.
But you didn't say era.
That's what I said for you. Like in your era.
Well, you
for
didn't
you.
specify. You just said my top 5.
For my era. So what's that? 4?
You said Hogan, Flair.
Shawn Michaels.
Okay.
I keep saying Triple H. Macho Man.
Just top 4. That's it. You didn't even put your favorites in there.
What are you talking about? Like
Yeah.
currently?
You didn't put Triple H. You didn't put Taker. Those are your favorites.
Taker's not my favorite. Triple H is my favorite.
You told me Taker was your favorite.
I mean, no, Taker's my
Please,
first
if anybody
memory.
that's watched the
no,
show.
I said Taker's my first memory.
Correct, but you've
It's not
mentioned
my
numerous.
favorite.
No, you've mentioned that he's one of your favorites.
One of my favorites. He's not like, up there like with Shawn and Triple H. And I'm like, he's my first memory. It's like one of those first love things.
All right. Well, on that note, we can agree to disagree. I mean, we
I think
can.
Dusty should be up there too.
Dusty, but he's not one of my top.
Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit.
Chris Benoit's not up there for me.
Well, I'm thinking in-ring. But that's a whole nother discussion.
But we can agree that Shawn Michaels is one of the greatest of all time, right?
Right. We can say that, of course.
Want to get into hot topics?
Sure. Let's start off with
Hold
Dave
on.
Meltzer.
Actually, before we get into that, because it's a couple of other points. Elias, he dropped his EP.
Did you listen to it?
No, I hear it's pretty hot fire though. What is it?
It's hot fire?
It's hot
Who
fire.
said it was hot fire?
Who's the best rappers of the world? Elias.
Really?
Dave Chappelle. Do you know that Dave Chappelle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Dylan.
Dylan.
They didn't come.
Dylan.
They didn't come from Dave Chappelle. Did they come from making a
Chappelle.
band?
It was making the band parody on Dave Chappelle. Wow, man.
No, but I think Dylan really said that on making the band. That's why he took it and put it in his skit.
Regardless, it was done on Dave Chappelle. Dylan. Anyway, go ahead. So it reached like number 6.
Yeah, it's 6 on the list. I don't know what's going on here.
I mean, people were
it's
posting
4
like
songs.
4 songs.
It's an EP. It's 4 songs.
Yeah, but doesn't EP have like 6 songs?
No, it depends.
Okay, so it's only 4 songs.
There's only 4 songs on there. The one that caught my attention is this one that he's playing the piano and singing. It's like I play the piano so you can know my many talents. And at the end of the song, what you think is the end, because he like does the little thing with the piano to the end. Mm-hmm. And he starts playing again. Like, I bet you thought this is the end of the song. I'm like,
you know, it's funny. I thought it was funny what they did with him on Raw, but like, what's the result for this? Where do we go from here with Elias? You know,
he got an EP out. He about to go on tour.
His World Tour 2018. Matt Riddle signed to NXT. A lot of people were excited about that.
Yeah, but they're just worried about if he's going to be able to put the weed down. Is he going to be able to put the weed down? That's what everybody's asking because he's like a big pro weed guy. So it's like, can he put the weed down?
Ooh. So the other two MMA 4-horsewomen, right, are actually today. They make their in-ring debut.
Oh, really? Where?
In somewhere in Florida. Largo, maybe?
With NXT?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So, obviously...
I gotta look for some footages of that.
Yeah, so a lot of people are gearing up, are possibly Survivor Series or this Evolution pay-per-view.
I'd say Survivor Series.
You say Survivor Series.
You don't want to put all those eggs in one basket for Evolution.
I mean, honestly, I wouldn't even have this happen now. I would wait next year, but...
Nah, WWE, you know they're...
I understand, but just 3 months, like, it takes time for these women to get, like, you know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense to me.
They're banking on Ronda and Shayna to carry the matches. Wow. It's kind of like how they had Bret Hart come out with his brothers.
Or maybe they're banking the WWE 4-horsewomen to carry the match.
Of course.
And then have the MMA women go over.
Of course. Survivor Series, I'm telling you.
I know, we'll see. But the first ever... Well, before we get into that, the last match, Dave Metzler, go ahead, you were going to talk about that.
Yeah, Dave Metzler is speculating that the WWE is going to actually pull the titles away from Carmella and Alexa Bliss going into Evolution.
Right.
Because of the quality of matches.
Quality of matches.
Now we care about quality of matches when it's time to go for the all-women's pay-per-view.
Right, exactly. now we don't need them to hold the titles.
Right, so...
Well, listen, you know how I feel about Mella. I enjoy her. I think she's a great champion. I think, for me, I haven't been this entertained with the SD women's title for a while. I think since maybe Naomi. So
first reign or second reign?
What do you mean?
Naomi's first reign or second reign?
Second reign, because obviously her first one got quote unquote cut short because of her injury. Right. So I haven't been this entertained by a women's champion on SmackDown in a while, so I enjoy it. Yeah, her matches haven't been that up to par, but that's also because of the quality of matches that you've been giving her. Like, the stipulations has been very silly. Not safe, but silly. You know? So
who do you see going into Evolution as the women's champion?
Ronda and Flair.
Not even give Becky a chance.
I want Becky and I want Sasha to be champions, but that's not going to be the case. So it's probably going to be Charlotte and Flair. Charlotte and Flair. Rick is coming back somehow getting the title.
She's going to hold both titles. Charlotte has it on
Flair. I can see that coming. No, I see Rousey and Flair carrying it just because, especially if you want media attention,
right?
We'll put those two.
Well, speaking of the titles being held up at Evolution, it was announced this past Monday by Stephanie McMahon that we are getting an all-women's pay-per-view
called
Evolution on October 28th.
8th at Nassau Veterans Memorial Coliseum. And Long Island. You going?
I'm going. Of course I'm going. I gotta support. Support. You know I'm a supporter.
I
wore this shirt today. You know what I mean? Support women wrestling.
One of the legends I'm wearing, Trish Stratus. So, yeah, but that was been announced, right? So apparently tickets go on sale August 24th. Triple H and Stephanie McMahon they spoke to ESPN, and basically Hunter posed the question: if you take the greatest Royal Rumble off the table, would anybody actually be questioning if they deserve this opportunity?
No.
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 But, and then also Stephanie McMahon stated that this pay-per-view will be treated the same as every other pay-per-view with creative, live production, live event production,
of course,
the whole thing. So they're going all out with this. Can we bring Pyro and all of that?
Please.
Becky Smoke?
Right? Becky needs her smoke. I'm telling you. She needs to get her edge on.
Exactly. So, on that note, that leads us to our second debate. We got a second debate question. Can I get applause or nothing? No? Nothing? What are your thoughts about Evolution, and how would you book it?
I'm excited for it. I seen some idiots online like, oh, why do we need an all women's pay per view? Has we had an all male pay per view? You forgot the Greatest Royal Rumble. Anyway, and every other pay per view that the guys had when the girls had like 2 minutes to wrestle, whatever. Anyway, I'm very excited for Evolution. Mae Young Classic is gonna happen. The final is gonna happen there. Titles are gonna be defended there.
50
NXT women's title is gonna be defended.
Legend's gonna be there.
I would love to have Lita and Beth Phoenix on commentary.
Renee Young.
With Renee Young, I'll take that.
Dasha Fuentes, Charlie Caruso, all of them.
Yeah, have them do the backstage segments and have, of course, JoJo do the ring announcing.
And Lillian Garcia, a lot of people were talking about bringing her for it. Okay.
I have a personal thing about that, but whatever.
Okay.
And I don't want too many legends trying to wrestle in this and let the current just enjoy it. Because to be honest with you, I've gone back and watched some of these legends. Some of them are not as great as people remembers. To be honest with you, to remember it, sorry.
Yeah.
But it's like, she's like the grammatical. She's like the spell check, the human spell checker.
That's what I gotta do that.
But yeah, I would
make sure you look good, son.
Right.
I'm sorry.
Stop.
I'm sorry. Apologize.
So, but yeah, I would definitely have a very. I wish we had a Queen of the Ring. I said that.
Yes, and I disagreed with that.
Why?
Well, why do you want Queen of the Ring?
Because it's one of those tournaments that I feel that was misused in the past years, and it has been forgotten about. And I feel like just like how the women's had the Royal Rumble, they've had Battle Royal. You know what I'm saying? I feel like the Queen of the Ring is the next thing that they could do very, very well, and have it where they have qualifying matches on Raw, SmackDown, NXT, whatever have you, and then have the last 4 brackets happen during Evolution because you need to fill up some of those storylines. So I think it would be great to do like the semifinals and the finals on Evolution.
See, on the contrary, so the reason why I don't agree that they should do Queen of the Ring, because it goes back to, as you know, my constant gripe with these tournaments and battle royals. What is the end result? Yes, we know that there'll be a tournament and there'll be a winner, a queen. But what happens to the queen? Unless you told me this was going to be the situation, like, for example, whoever won and is the Queen of the Ring, she gets to overthrow, let's say, the Money in the Bank winner. Obviously, we don't currently have one because she already cashed and she's currently champion.
Or you can have her, if you want to add a stipulation to it, add a stipulation that she could choose whatever champion she wants whenever time she wants.
I feel like if we're just having tournaments, that takes away from actual storylines. I propose, and I think I told you this, and I told other people, I think that I wouldn't even bring the legends. If you want to have legends in backstage segments, I think that's cool. But I think that you have enough people. I was talking to my friend Astro again. Shout out to him. He was like, "Oh, there's not that many people, women wrestlers on SmackDown," and I broke it down. Like, there's legit like at least 12 of them, right? And then on Raw, there's more.
And then NXT UK,
but not even thinking about NXT. Like, you have enough women that you can utilize, make feuds out of. Like I said last week, when we were talking about Extreme Rules, what was the whole point of having Mickey being Alexa's sidekick? And then she was basically going at it with Nia, right?
Taking the bumps for it.
Nia could easily come back next week or whatever and attack Mickey for no reason because she's been a thorn in her backside. That's a feud right there that you can start, right? Dana and this girl, Alicia Fox, they haven't gotten their shine. Let's say if you did bring tag team titles, that's someone that those two can actually be like, listen, they haven't been giving us a shine, let's take over. That's another storyline that you can generate from that. The Iconics can benefit from tag team titles. You understand what I'm saying? There's so many feuds and different things. Sasha and Bailey can continue into Evolution. Ronda, Alexa, there's just so many different ways that you can go and utilize the women and finally get them the storylines that they deserve and the time that they deserve in those, if written well, right? I propose that I would love to see an actual takeover, but for women. You have enough talent on Takeover. I think Takeover 2 kind of went away from what they used to back when you had the 4 Horsewomen and you had Seth and KO and all these people. You had multiple women matches, and you had more than, what is it, three matches that I feel like they have nowadays. Or at least
4.
Yeah,
But that's
4.
why they extended it to an hour so they can have a little bit more.
Well, that's what I'm saying. So you can easily have a couple matches, especially since TakeOver only has how many matches to begin with, right? You can easily start some feuds. They're having the UK Women's Championship. That's 2 titles that can be defended. If you brought NXT tag team titles for the women, easily could be defended on TakeOver. Let it be an all-women weekend. I think that's a dope idea.
Yeah, but the way they announced it, all of it's being put on one night. And that's why
I understand, but I'm just saying how I would book it.
But that's why I said the Queen of the Ring would have been best, because now you have a chance for people from SmackDown, Raw, NXT, NXT UK to interact with each other on that Evolution.
Storyline.
But Evolution can have the storylines outside of it, like you said, with the titles. Those storylines could continue, but for the people that don't have storylines, this gives them a chance to still be a part of the pay-per-view and go after something.
Correct, but then what happens after that? Like, I feel like, we're doing this for the women because they weren't included in the Greatest Royal Rumble, but what happens afterwards? Okay, we gave this to you guys. Good job.
No, but...
And it goes back to where we're at before.
No, because they still have those storylines outside of the tournament to still go off of.
But...
That's what I'm saying. So, like, I understand you don't like those type of things, but think about it this way. King of the Ring is what propelled Steve Austin.
Okay, but look at our last King of the Ring.
But that's what I'm saying.
Barrett.
That's what I'm saying. It got lost. This is their perfect time to reinvent it, get it to somebody else, and let something happen for it.
I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening. Just history shows us how the way they book the women. Unless you told me Triple H is behind this.
Triple H and Shawn is behind. Triple H and Shawn. What is going on with me today? Triple H and Stephanie is behind this, and that's why I have faith in it to
Are behind it.
Are behind it. Thank you, spell check. Are behind it, so that's why I have faith in it that it will work.
I don't know. We'll see.
Vince is not touching this. He's not touching.
Which is, what's funny before, and just to end this off, what did you think about the header that they used with Ronda Rousey, Charlotte Flair, and Alexa Bliss? As a woman of color, as African American, Latina, I was insulted by you calling this pay-per-view Evolution, but you have no one of color in that header. Now, granted, the poster will probably change, but that's insulting when Ronda Rousey just came and, had nothing to do with at least wrestling the women's Evolution.
Right.
Alexa Bliss, who wasn't even thought of when the whole Give Divas a Chance came about, and the whole Revolution or what have you.
Right.
Charlotte, who's, a great, superstar, but her whole gimmick is based off her father, who is a male. And then there was no women of color. You understand what I'm saying?
Who would you put in the Evolution poster?
Obviously, I would put Sasha Banks on there, AJ Lee. But I know they're not touching that, but I would definitely put AJ Lee.
No, it has to be current wrestlers.
What about Paige?
I guess you could.
Because she's part.
You
can
get away with
she's
it. She could
part
put
of it.
She could put it in the middle of it.
I definitely put Sasha. I definitely put.
Paige.
I wouldn't mind keeping Charlotte. It's just my issue of the
similarities
that they look. You know what I mean? I would put Charlotte possibly. Asuka, because that's another woman of color. Is an Asian woman.
Right.
That's probably who I put. And I get Alexa because she's quote unquote the face.
Right.
But have either. Let's have
one or the other.
One or the other.
I would put Paige. If we're gonna do it, you said if Paige is allowed to, I would Paige in the middle because she's the general manager. So let her get in the front. Mm-hmm. And I would add Sasha and Charlotte. I would add Becky and Bayley. To be honest with you, they catapulted this whole Evolution.
See, but honestly, and I thought we were going with 3. I agree 1,000%. Those would be my.
That's how we do the poster.
That's what I'm thinking. I would legit, and honestly, I know you're saying current. I would, if I could, I'd put AJ on it. Honestly,
AJ Lee.
All those women.
You know, I love AJ Lee. I've read her book, and it's just like
all those women is what made them look a different way at women's
Right.
wrestling. And it's funny, did you notice when they announced it, and I understand the whole reason why they had Stephanie announce it because she's a woman, but there was more of an emotional attachment to this.
To Triple H.
To Triple H. And then it was Vince. Vince was just standing there like.
Yeah, Vince is just
very not attached to this.
Of course, Triple H is attached the most to all these superstars. That's
not
current.
even so much, but not even so much. I understand superstars, but the fact that the women are his babies. His daughters, his babies.
That's what I'm saying. Like just in general, like even with Kevin Owens, just in general, when you see Triple H talk about the men or the women, he gets emotional because he watched these people grow, and that's why I'm like, yo, just give this guy the reins already, because his passion is connected to the business and he's connected to all of this, and it would give us great product.
Yeah,
he almost cried in the ring, like.
And then that said a lot. And again, it goes back down to I understand, let's have a woman announce it,
Yeah.
but I didn't, you know what I mean?
I'm surprised they didn't put the Bella twins up there.
Yeah, right. I mean, but listen, I wouldn't even have mind seeing, to keep it 100, I wouldn't even mind seeing the Bella twins just because it's now, present, and the past. They're one of, they were part of the Divas era, right? And it's what we moved past from. Not to say that they didn't grow into superstars, but we've grown into... It was their
tweet that brought the attention.
Right. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't have in mind seeing them on there, but to see those three, it's like...
That's not the face of the evolution at all.
Yeah. And like I said...
Except for Charlotte. Charlotte is cool. But.
Charlotte's fine. Yeah, I just thought that was a little insulting and disheartening, especially, like I said, as a woman of color.
I completely understand that.
You know what I mean? And it doesn't represent all of the wrestling community. Like, there was a time where I thought, there's not too many of us, but there's legit a lot of us.
Yeah.
And for you not to see someone that looks like me, or someone that actually has brought, prestige to this whole division,
right?
It's kind of disheartening. But as a fan of the product, a continued fan, I will
continue watching it
and keep hope alive. And what do we say?
Keep hope alive.
Keep hope alive. On that note, buddy, that is our show.
Yep. If you want to follow us on Twitter and Instagram at The Mixed Tag Show, or follow us on our personals at
Miss Jenna Baby, BAYBEEN,
at Blue Magic Line, spelled how it sound. Make sure you hit us up for the WE shop links in the bio, in our YouTube, and the link in our
social media. And again, don't forget to look out we're going to open up the draft for after SummerSlam, and also we'll have another contest giveaway coming up soon.
And congratulations again to Ashley and Courtney. And on that note,
boom.
You always mess this up.
I don't always mess it up.
You do.
You do. Shut up.
It's the Mixed Tag Show. Mixed Tag Show. With Jenna and Blue.